There it is. That's
There we
one.
go. There
That's
we
the
go.
one. Gotta have that access.
Yeah, they in
Open the
building
doors
tonight.
up. Let them in.
They came flooding. They came rushing in.
Oh man, stampede.
Right. They knocked down the
Bowling is
security guy.
over, D.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They messed up the security guy
Yeah,
trying to
hurry
get
up
in
on
the
the
door.
stage. Get up on the stage real quick.
Oh yeah,
Where's our one guy?
yeah. He in the back.
There he is. All right, coming to you live from the Sit Your Ass Down studios. Welcome to the Me and D
Pops and Son
podcast.
for that ass.
It's the podcast
For that ass.
for that ass. Tonight we have a special guest, and D, I'll let you introduce him.
Oh, special guest tonight, man. Long time. Glad we got to get him on the show. We have varsity head coach of the Orchard Farm Eagles, Chris Lindhoff. Let me give you a little background. Me and Chris go way back. Shoot, when did you come to Orchard Farm? Eighth grade? Eighth grade. I was in there seventh grade. Played basketball, football together. Man, classmates, teammates. Man, just a real good friend, and glad we got to reestablish this relationship. And we got him here on the show because his Orchard Farm Eagles are rolling right now. They're sitting 7-1, going into a game against Moberly tomorrow. So, man, without further ado, Chris Lindhoff.
Welcome, Chris.
Welcome.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me.
Been a long time no see. This is definitely a departure from the last time I saw you. It was around 2013 when you all
Right.
graduated. and now Chris is the coach of the team. And
Right.
just looking back, you all weren't 7-1 the last time I remember.
No,
No.
it's been a process. I know a few years ago when we got here, we were building things up. First year was awesome. We had some great kids, and they were fighting, and they actually believed in what we were trying to install, the culture we were building, and they shifted the tide in the last couple of years. Has seen more success, so we're real proud of.
So prior to this season, what was the best record that Orchard Farm had?
I know it was like 9-2, 10-2. It was right after me and Dave had graduated. It was a couple years after that when Armand and Tyler were seniors.
Okay.
So I think they went 10-2, if maybe 10-3. But they had won 10 games, and they had won a district championship too. So, but it's been great. It's been great to establish some record of success and building tradition here with the new school. It's been awesome.
So how long have you been the coach there, Chris?
This is the third year. Year. So first year we were 2-8. Last year we flipped it and went 8-3. And this year we started pretty good so far. So
yeah.
What was the biggest reason for the turnaround, or what contributed to the turnaround from year one to year two?
I think it really honestly started with year one. I know the wins didn't show it. I think that if you're around high school football, like me and Dave, the culture is the root of everything, whether you're winning or losing. So it was just a matter of time with establishing how we wanted to do things, the standard we wanted to set. And that first group brought into it right away in June. I know they didn't win too many games, but all the games we're winning now, all these freshmen and sophomores, they were there when that group was seniors. And they bought in and they changed things, and they just kept fighting adversity. We weren't winning, it wasn't working out, but they believed.
Man.
And it worked out well for us.
What round of the playoffs is this? And obviously when we come out on Sunday, the game will have been over, but what round of the playoffs are you in currently?
So it'll be, when this comes out, we'll be going into our first round. This is our last regular season game against Moberly. So the way our schedule worked out, conference wrapped up last week, but we have one more this week, and then districts will start next week.
Nice.
So you're already guaranteed a spot in districts?
Yeah. So how it worked, after me and Dave graduated, they changed it to where it's like kind of a March Madness thing, where every team in the state gets into the playoffs.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Every team technically gets to play a playoff game, and that's the first round of districts. It's not like back where we were only 2 or 3 teams advanced and went from there. So it's everybody gets a shot at it, which is it's awesome.
No, that's cool, and this would be perfect because we'll be coming out leading into the playoffs. So I like the timing of this. So what is your identity as a coach? Are you more offensive minded, defensive minded? What's your identity, Chris?
Now that I've come into this role, I really try to just let everybody be comfortable with what they're doing best. This year we're really fortunate enough to have a great offensive mind come on the staff, Colin Groves, a name
Oh
I said
yeah, I
earlier
remember
today.
Colin. Yeah.
Chris's older brother, and he was the offense coordinator at Zumwalt West the last few years, and we were real fortunate enough to have him come on board and handle things offensively, and we've had several people step up on staff. We have such a great staff to
That's what's
help
up.
out. So I'm really just living the dream, my dream that I had since me and David met, honestly, when I was in high school, of just understanding what our community wants for our program, making sure that we're meeting those standards, everybody's on board, everybody knows their role, and everybody's comfortable with that.
So take me back to that, Chris. Tell me, when did you first feel that you wanted to be a head coach of some sort, whether it be high school or wherever, Pee Wee League? When did you first feel that that was something you wanted to take on?
I think around the time me and David were maybe juniors, seniors. I think we were fortunate enough to be around some really great people that cared about us and set a great example in our football program, basketball, track, everything in the Orchard Farm community was special with us. And I moved to the district when I was in 8th grade, so it was a super crucial time for me, and went through stuff in high school where the school was super important to me. And my friends were like a super crucial support base for me. And that just, for some reason, I guess, formed a real bond with my heart that I just knew that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to come back here and help the program. I didn't know in what role. I wasn't really in a rush to do anything. It just happened to work out. And we're just really glad to have awesome people around me. But just the community that me and David grew up in was awesome. I vividly remember you guys giving me rides home. I mean, your family, other
Absolutely.
families specifically. And that's what's cool about here is that wasn't rare. That just felt like another Tuesday. Oh yeah, David's parents are taking me home, or someone's parents are taking me home. And I didn't really understand that was special until I left and got around and hearing other people, and it makes you appreciate what Orchard Farm is. I think we're really lucky, and just to have a staff where people graduate from Orchard Farm and understands the role that we have and being the rock kind of in our community. It's just super special, and we're living a dream. Several of us on staff are, and it's just great.
That's cool. What was it like the first time you led your team out on the field that first season?
Yeah, terrifying. We were maybe not as prepared or able as we could have been, and we were super young. That first year, we were basically a JV team, freshmen, sophomores, some juniors, and we had 4 seniors on the team. It was the only team I've been a part of. We only had 3 captains.
Man.
They were all 3 seniors, and they all went to war, and they just kept battling, and they got whooped the first month and a half, and then they kept fighting, and then we started getting close. Then we won a game, and then we were close. Then we won another game, and it was just awesome to see those kids that just bought into what we were doing, set the example, and it's just going out there and just representing everything that I remember, that Dave was a part of, that all our friends were a part of building. I know me and David were part of a huge rebuild ourselves our senior year. Just seeing the changes that were made in the off season leadership wise, I think implementing some of that stuff was huge for us too.
What'd you do prior to coming to Orchard Farm as the coach? Where were you?
I went to Missouri State, graduated with history and coaching and all that, and then I went to Putnam County, Missouri, which is up on the Iowa border, which is way out there.
Man.
Way out there.
I remember seeing you out there.
Football, girls basketball, and baseball year round for a few years there. COVID. And then once COVID happened, I made my way back here and was fortunate enough to get on at Orchard Farm.
I mean, were you an assistant at Orchard Farm when you came, or you just came back as a head coach?
Nope. My first 2 years, I was an assistant at Orchard Farm, and the head coach was Blake Arnett, and the athletic director was Eric Shore, who is
Coach Shore,
Dave's coach. And then he ended up moving on to another school district, and our head coach at the time moved into athletic director role. And then I was in a position where I just wanted to give it a ring and
Give her a shot.
give her a shot. And luckily, I'm luckily have enough people around me at the school that have known me and maybe have given me chances that other people wouldn't have for one reason or another. And it's awesome to have a support group here.
No, that's pretty cool. That's cool. So, what teams do you like to watch in your downtime? So, when you're not coaching, and I know even at the high school level, it's a full time job. But who do you support and who do you watch away from
I'm already
Orchard
knowing
Farm?
this one.
Yeah, I'd say right now. I am a diehard Iowa Hawkeye football fan. I don't know if that's good or bad. It oftentimes tends to be a curse more than a blessing. But I've always been that way. My family's from Iowa. I was born in Iowa. I was raised in Iowa. Everybody in my family's still in Iowa. I got the logo tattooed on my shoulder.
That's Iowa Hawkeye till
All
he die.
about Iowa Hawkeyes, although that is not a great hobby sometimes, including this year after the whooping we just took at Michigan State last weekend. Most of the times, I'm fun to watch a little bit of the Iowa game Saturday, and by the time Sunday rolls around, it's the next week's film and watching that and meeting with coaches. So, not that I ever enjoyed the NFL stuff to begin with. I don't know why my heart didn't connect with the money stuff, the me stuff, the fan. I don't know. I don't do that stuff. I just never really got into it. Not that I have time to now because the high school stuff's so fun to watch. And I always try to catch up on the games. Like I was joking with my staff today. I was like, man, I wish I could skip our game and go watch Cardinal Ritter and Luther North tomorrow.
Right.
Because we've seen a lot of those kids. We played a lot of those kids a couple of years ago, and just watching those kids over the summer, they're ridiculous. It's like watching college football over there. But
man,
especially when you see other good teams in other districts or other conferences close by in the same city.
Oh, goodness. We just went up to Warrenton last week, and we were both 7-0. It was great. It was for the conference championship.
Man.
And we played really well. We had a fourth down stand. We had them 21-14 at halftime. But, man, that's a good football team. They are huge up front. They are huge. Over 300 up front, easy. And,
really? Almost like college players.
Oh, my goodness gracious. At least, yeah. It's like a D2, D3 offensive line, and they're super well coached, and they got an all-state running back that's been there for 3 years behind them. And holy smokes. I've been coaching high school football for 7-8 years, and I went there Friday night, and I was like, man, this is the best team I've ever seen live.
Man.
And I was on cloud nine because I went into the boys at halftime. I'm like, man, we're only down one possession. I'm like, that's a damn good team. That must mean we're not terrible.
Right.
But, man, they just wore us down. So big. And you just can't. 16, 17-year-old kids, they're not holding up for 3 hours against that type of stuff.
No, they're not built for that.
Yeah, we didn't end up scoring with them, which was unfortunate, but it was an awesome game, awesome environment. I'm glad our kids got to battle through that, and I think it made us ready for a little run here, hopefully.
Yeah,
do you know who you play? I'm sorry, D. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, we think we know for sure. I don't know. I shouldn't say for sure, but we're pretty sure we're going to play Luther and St. Charles in the first round.
Have you played them this year?
We have not.
Luther and St. Charles?
Correct. We have not
rival.
played. The last time.
Is that still a rival?
Didn't they used to be a rival when you all played?
But since they moved to the GAC, the Orchard Farm moved to the GAC.
Yeah, it hasn't. We haven't played much recently. It used to be when me and Dave were in high school.
Yeah, that was one of the top
rivals. And
that's what I thought.
The time when me and Dave were getting out of college, about the time 2018, 2019, we got into a cycle with them again, and we just weren't there with them at the time. I think the last time I'm about to show a YouTube clip to the boys, I think, of the last time the news came out to the game, and Lutheran won like 71-6 or something, which is something I really take a lot of pride in, knowing that there's schools in our area that really they tend to talk to kids in our area that might end up going to Orchard Farm. So it's just a really interesting week. It's a a week where there's no motivation needed.
Right. What's their record? What's their record currently?
They are historically really solid. This year has not been the case. I think they're 1-7 this year.
Do you know where the game will be for those who are listening, watching?
Next week will be at Orchard Farm.
Oh, nice.
So that's then we might have to slide out to that.
Next week.
Is that Friday?
If we win, yes, next Friday, and then if we win that, the next Friday, which would maybe, we don't know, it could be Westminster, Zumwalt East, St. Charles High. That one would be at Orchard Farm too.
Okay, so the game against Moberly tomorrow. That's at Orchard Farm, and then potentially the next two will be at Orchard Farm.
Correct.
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna have to slide to one of those. Going back to what you were saying about you guys facing Warrenton, 7-0, it's reminiscent of when we were seniors. We started off 5-0. I think we set the precedent of a winning culture. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna toot our own horn, but I'm definitely gonna toot it because if you think about, we had some strong seniors on our team. Chris was a co-receiver, safety. Philip Cooley, Justin Tunzi. I played corner, running back a little bit of everything. Andre, Johnny. Oh man, Cato. Who else was on there? Aaron Payne.
Yeah, a lot.
Brendan.
Yeah.
Finley. So we had some dogs on there, and I think because we started 5-0. I think we went 8-4. I think we lost to Duchesne in like the playoffs, but I think with our coaching staff, we had Eric Shore, Coach Walls, Coach Kendall.
Kendall was the head coach, right?
Kendall was the head coach, but Shore, when he came in and when Walls was there, we had Kyle Elmendorf. I think we chased the precedent and at the same time, we had Tyler Westerfeld and Armand Keeley on there.
You're making this sound really good. We just had Armand carrying the ball.
Yeah, we had Armand and Tyler Westerfeld, and by the time they were seniors, they went to district and all that. So
they were great as sophomores, man.
Yeah, I'm talking about some of the solid players,
all-time greats. Two all-time Orchard Farm greats. I'm really
and they were on the sophomores when we were seniors.
And you got to think that the way that we approach things at least had to have an impact on the way.
I was just saying, sounds like you all did lay the foundation for what they became.
Yeah, it was awesome. I remember our grade really kind of.
We were good. We were solid, man. We had a lot of players that could play on the next level.
We were okay as a group. I think what made our group really special was none of us were really good, to be honest.
I think we played together.
What made our group really special is we didn't like the possibility of maybe losing.
Yeah.
And that just really was just unique at that time for some reason. And it started in the weights with Shore in the off season.
A little bit of the chemistry too, because I think all of us have been.
Oh my God!
Playing together for from JV freshman to being on varsity, then finally when it was our time to shine, we made it happen. But you always had that interest of being a coach, like you said, always Iowa Hawkeye fan. You being a coach, who were some of your influences as coaches? If you could name your top 3 coaches, and it can be football, basketball, but who are your top 3 coaches that may have influenced you?
Jeez, there's so many people that I've just learned.
Narrow it to football.
The 2 people I can just really nail it down to really clear off the bat, which I guess is what really matters, is the first one is Eric Shore.
Okay.
Eric Shore is probably the single most important person and role model in my life that I can think of.
That's awesome. Shore got us right.
He's still in the area and we talk a lot. And I think he knows how important he was to me as far as being there when I needed him. The school was there when I needed him, and he just played a huge role for me, just family-wise, let alone football-wise. And the football was incredible with him, too.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got out of school, I got a job up in Putnam County, which I was telling you about. And
right.
I guess the 2 coaches I had up there that I was assistants for, the baseball coach was Blaine Robinson, who was in my wedding, and he taught me more than I'll ever freaking know.
Wow.
Clyde Bondy was the football coach up there. And we rebuilt Orchard Farm. We turned that around, and it was fitting I got to Putnam. It was our first year, his first year as the head coach. We went 2-8 our first year. Same kids came back. And we went to the district championship.
Man.
And, we didn't win that, but just another rebuild where you get experience. You see how someone else does things. I saw Eric build this thing from literally the ground up. And then I see Clyde up there build that thing from the ground up, and then I come here, I'm like, okay, you take this, and it's just 2 people. But then there's also so many people you learn from online, which we're lucky enough now to have so many resources. But it boils down to whether or not you're going to put in the work, whether or not the kids won't do jack unless they know that you're about it. And if
Because
you're
they
not,
believe in you.
they can see that. I don't mean to cuss. They can see
No,
that.
you're good.
I'm gonna say if it don't mess up your rep, you can curse all you want to.
Kids are way smarter than adults, and if you
Absolutely.
are one bit fake, or if you
they
don't
sense
follow
it.
with one thing, they sense it, and they're so
Yeah.
freaking smart. And that's luckily I'm there now, and Colin Groves is there now, and there's so many people there now to where like the kids don't bat an eye. They know that we're there. And that's our dream, is to be there. We didn't want to go make a $1 kajillion, which we're not capable of anyway. We just wanted to sit there and coach high school football. And those kids understand that we love them, and that's why we're there. It's been awesome.
Which is
And there's certain gratification in that. It's not always about chasing the dollar. It's about doing what you really love to do. The rest of it typically takes care of itself.
Yeah. It's the coolest thing on earth. We had super great coaches. My father was my coach growing up from when I can remember playing sports to when I played high school. He was my coach, and I just remember the impact that he had on other kids and me, and that might have had an impact. And then I just remember all the kids or coaches from high school, and just been around some really awesome people that set great examples, which I'm really lucky.
That's cool. Getting to know Chris a little bit more. What's the family life like? Any kids or?
No kids. I'm married last November, coming up on the anniversary.
Congrats.
Nice.
Congratulations. Yeah.
11. Two dogs and a cat.
2 dogs and a cat.
No little Chris is ready to take the receiving gloves from you.
No.
That'll come in time. Right now, you have a group of kids that you have to watch over.
Right, you already got
those
kids.
are your players.
It's awesome. It's so great, and that's the best part of it, is just watching them from when they're freshmen to when they grow up. Like, just something today happened where some kid that we've been just has been battling issues today just handled the situation perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh my God, for 2.5 years, he under his breath, he told me I was dumb, and out of the blue, he fixed it. And I'm like, holy smokes, that was awesome. That was so much cooler than winning. That kid just figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, that's so much better than the win part of it. It's great.
Because at the purest form, like high school, you really just see a young individual get characteristics of becoming a young adult. I'm not gonna say a man, but you get those characteristics of being disciplined, being a teammate, actually caring for somebody, the camaraderie, the chemistry, the stuff that you don't really get in just everyday society, the ups and downs. It's a great game. It's a great life teacher, and especially when you have people like you, coaches, some grown individuals, grown men, to put some time into you and develop you. It means the world. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite part about it is it teaches you how to lose.
Mm-hmm.
You just
and bounce back
gracefully,
right? And bounce back.
They're high school kids, so they're all about their record, and I want to win this. I said, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose a shit ton.
Yep.
You're gonna lose all the time. Your life's gonna suck, and that's the cool thing about it. It's gonna suck. And,
it's what you do though with those losses.
You can control your response.
Yeah.
Correct. And I tell them all the time, football is microcosm for life, but they hear that in their sleep from TikToks and everything. But then when you catch them in that moment where it's relatable and it clicks, it's, oh shit, it actually matters, which is super special, which is why I really love doing it.
That's when that light comes on.
It's great. It's really, really great. And
That's
I
awesome.
was talking to Coach Wallace, David. I was talking to Coach
Oh,
Wallace.
okay, man. Shout out to Coach Wallace.
all
And I need to
summer.
holler at Shore. I follow him on Facebook, but Shore, he really was influential, like you said, especially coaching the DBs, how he just coached the DBs and then being a head coach. He just brought a real mentality that we needed because he was coaching at DeSmet
Correct.
and then came to small little Orchard Farm, but
Yep.
brought that mentality from DeSmet to Orchard Farm. And I think that's like you said, that's when we just bought in. Like we knew
There wasn't another option.
Yeah, we bought in, we believed,
Which
and
is having someone in your life to tell you, shut the hell up.
Oh yeah,
Get in the weight room
and just get it done.
And we weren't sometimes buddies. We weren't friends with him sometimes. But
for real, because he was hard. Because he was hard on us, but you needed that.
You made us better, and that's what
way better.
Last couple of years we do before and after school lifting every single day.
Man,
there's no excuses.
Mm-hmm.
If you work, if you play sports, you're in there in the morning.
Before and after school.
If you sleep in, you're going in the afternoon. We're doing the same stuff before and after. So you figure it out. There's no excuses. There's literally no excuses.
There you go.
I love it, man.
We do the whole thing now where if you have more than one F, you're not allowed at any.
Yeah.
You're not allowed at any off-season thing. You're not allowed at anything, and it's great. It's been great.
Well, that's a good way for you to figure out who's bought in and who's not. If you really want to be a part of this, then you're going to have to do what you have to do. Go to class, make your grades.
Yeah, and that started with Eric too. Devin, my brother, went through Orchard Farm about 4 or 5 years after me and Dave, and Shore made them go in the library before practice if you're failing. Nowadays, we just make them stay after a run. But
yeah.
Just having someone implement that, as silly and simple as that sounds, someone implement that structure as part of the program, and it's just something building blocks to go off of, where now for us in our program, that's like a part of our DNA, where our freshmen know what library club is, and our freshmen know they sure as shit better not be failing anything, or else
right.
Where 10 years ago that started as hollering at somebody going off the practice field. It just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds, which is awesome for me that we get to build off of what me and you did, and what Eric did and Phil did and everybody in between.
No, man. Are you just strictly head coach? Do you do baseball at all?
No, I did assistant.
Because I know you play baseball too as well.
I did play baseball, and at Putnam I did football, girls basketball, and baseball.
Okay, nice.
Here, when I was an assistant football coach, I also did assistant basketball.
Okay. But
when I was head football coach, I don't do the basketball stuff anymore.
Oh yeah, you had a full-time job in itself.
Just the weightlifting stuff.
It's everything.
It starts in June with the summer stuff. Our Colin, I'm not trying to sound like a sob story, because Colin Groves, he's our offensive coordinator, and then right after the season, he's going to go and be Winfield's basketball coach.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's all in on board. He's special, dude. He's awesome. Yeah, he's great. He's gonna.
So is he leaving you for good, or he's just coaching that one sport?
No, he's teaching. He's teaching me
both.
And everything at Orchard Farm. He's just coaching. He's gonna drive and coach basketball in the field because he wants a shot. He wants.
It's a different breed, man.
That's pretty amazing.
He's a different dude.
If you want it, you got to go get it.
Dude, he's a go-getter. He's been the best thing that's ever happened to me in my whole life. Yeah, he's amazing for our program. He's awesome. He's great. He's a go-getter. I hope he does really well there. I hope he surprises you.
Cool. Chris, it was great catching up with you. We wish you much success, not only tomorrow, but that first game of districts. And don't be surprised if you look up in the stands, you don't see me and D out there supporting.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have to try to, we're going to try to make
I think we're going to have to make that.
Either party, I'm definitely.
Next Friday.
Yeah. I think that'd be a good one to go to.
Yeah, I agree.
Go out there and support. Chris, man, you've always wanted to be a coach, and then to see you flourishing in your field it's fantastic. And just, I'm glad I still had your number too. I didn't delete your number at all. I hit you up on Facebook, but you texted me your number, and I was like, oh, I still got them in there. But man, it's a blessing to have you, man, to continue that relationship, especially just knowing you for a long time, and wish you much success and all the people who went through Orchard Farm and everyone out there. It is a community. You always have ties to come back there. So I think that's one thing that's been thankful for. But man, good luck to you, man. We'll be out there supporting everyone else. Watch out for them Orchard Farm Eagles. Chris Lindhoff and the guy put them on the map because what you guys, 4A now? Is it 4A?
Yeah, we're Class 4. It's our first
Class
time.
4. That's a whole different league. Yeah, that's a whole different league, and it's growing. And I need to check out the new stadium. But man, we appreciate you coming on, man, especially with your busy schedule.
All good. I appreciate you guys having me.
No problem. Thank you so much.